Microscopic ocean animals hold secret to climate survival. The tiny ocean creatures that could save us from climate disaster. Imagine a world where the smallest creatures in the ocean hold the key to our survival in a rapidly changing climate. Sounds like science fiction, right? But here's where it gets real. Researchers have just discovered that copepods, tiny crustaceans that are the backbone of the ocean food chain, possess not one, but two molecular toolkits that enable them to thrive in a warming, acidifying ocean. A double-pronged strategy for survival. Led by Melissa Pispenny at the University of Vermont, the study reveals that copepods employ a two-pronged strategy to adapt to the stresses of climate change. One approach is genetic, involving changes to their DNA sequence over generations. The other is epigenetic, involving rapid, reversible changes to the chemical tags on their DNA that influence gene expression. This dual approach allows copepods to rapidly adjust and evolve in response to environmental stressors. A rare dose of optimism in climate research. The findings, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, offer a glimmer of hope in the face of climate change. By tracking 25 generations of marine copepods under simulated future ocean conditions, the researchers found clear evidence that these tiny creatures are not just adapting genetically over time, but also deploying rapid reversible changes through epigenetic modifications. A long-term look at ocean evolution. The team raised populations of Acardia, a globally abundant copepod species, in lab conditions that mimic ocean warming, acidification, and their combination. Over 1 year and 25 generations, researchers measured everything from egg production to genome. Molecular hope. How tiny ocean copepods use genetics and epigenetics to survive climate change. A glimmer of hope in the face of climate change. Tiny ocean crustaceans unleash their molecular arsenal. Imagine a world where the tiniest creatures in the ocean can adapt to the stresses of climate change with ease. Sounds like science fiction, right? But here's where it gets fascinating. Scientists have discovered that marine copepods, the tiny crustaceans at the heart of the ocean food web, possess a largely unknown biological toolkit that helps them survive the challenges of a warming and acidifying ocean. In a groundbreaking study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, researchers have made a remarkable discovery. It's not just genetic changes that help these animals adapt to climate change. Epigenetic changes, temporary on-off chemical modifications to parts of DNA, play a crucial role too. And here's the kicker. These two mechanisms operate independently, but in concert, offering a two-pronged strategy for long-term resilience. The dynamic duo of evolution. Until now, few studies have tracked genetic and epigenetic changes in tandem over many generations. This experiment is one of the first to do so in a long-term replicated evolution study, offering some of the strongest evidence yet that epigenetic change can help populations survive and perhaps even allow future genetic adaptation. So what does this mean for the many fish species that rely on copepods as their primary prey? And for the many other creatures, including humans, who eat fish? It means that copepods may be tougher under the stresses of a warming ocean than scientists previously thought. And that could be good news for the entire ocean ecosystem. Evolution in a bucket. To conduct this study, researchers raised populations of Acardia, a foundational marine copepod species, in carefully controlled laboratory buckets. Some buckets were warmed, others acidified, and some experienced both. Over a year, these fast-reproducing animals cycled through 25 generations. The team measured their response, not only at the organism level, but also at the molecular level. Using state-of-the-art sequencing, they mapped changes in the animal's genome, epigenome, and transcriptome. A shift in evolutionary thinking. The findings have profound implications for how scientists understand evolution and resilience in the Anthropocene. Epigenetics, the next frontier in climate adaptation, is showing that the path to survival is more complex and more hopeful than we ever imagined.